The Secrets of Technology is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit GiveStarQuest.com. Hi, I'm Dom Bettinelli, and you're listening to The Secrets of Technology, where we discuss the technology news that's important to you from a uniquely Catholic point of view. Joining me today on the panel are Father Andrew Kinstetter. Hey, Father.
Hello there.
And Joanne Mercier. Hey, Joanne.
Hey, Dom.
So we're going to take a bit of a light week here, but it's still fun. I think one of my favorite things to talk about, to look at, like YouTube videos and podcasters, is what kind of stuff people use to do the things that they do with their tech. You know, tech stuff is a fun topic. And so we're going to be doing another one of our occasional what's in your bag episodes. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's in our computer bags. And, you know, because the three of us have very different kinds of work that we do, different kinds of lifestyles. And I think that affects how we pack our computer bags, or even what kind of computer bags we have. And so I think this will be an interesting interesting discussion for the audience to hear. So, you know, let's start off with first, what kind of tech travel do you do? Like, what are your needs? Before we get into the stuff, let's talk about the needs. How does your daily life affect what goes in your bag for computer stuff? Father, why don't we start with you? Like, how does, as a parish priest up there in Wyoming, what's it like for carrying your tech stuff around?
I need my phone. That is plain and simple. And really, I mean, for that's all that I need per se when I'm out and about. I have computer PC setups at both of my parishes, so I don't travel with a laptop. But my phone is essential because on my phone I have my email, the parish email on it. I've got the ability, if someone calls the office and it's an emergency, it will link directly to my personal cell phone. So I can be gotten a hold of that way. And, I mean, really anytime if I'm not at the office, any sort of office work, I can, which would usually just be email. I mean, for my role, anything more intensive, I could easily get to the office, but the phone is really it. Okay. So my travel comes into play later, and we'll get to that.
Right. You might do like personal travel otherwise.
Right. And that affects my tech. But yeah, for my daily commute, it's my phone in my pocket, period. Yeah.
And Joanne, what's your work like that affects the tech you have to carry around?
Well, I have two parishes, and even though they're 3 minutes away from each other, their technical setups are very different. So if I'm running a Bible study in either place, I need my laptop, even though I have a desktop in my office. However, everything is connected with a NAS, with a network attached storage. So either place, I can run videos that are on a central server. The only problem with that is when they conk out after a half an hour of playing. Right. And all of a sudden I'm like, why is this happening? So I have to be ready to attach either my iPad or my laptop or sometimes my phone to something to finish things. It's quirky. It was set up by one of my first pastor. I've had 3 in 3 years. And so I'm still trying to work with it the best I can.
Okay. So most of my day-to-day work is sitting at this desk right here. I don't commute. I don't have to really go very, very far to do what I need to do. There are times when I need to take tech with me. That's sometimes, but for the other things I do, which is like scouting, I'm on committees for scout troops, and I have to go to, meetings and manage. I'm a treasurer in one, so I have to manage, the money for that one, that sort of thing. But I do when I do travel, so I have different kinds of gear for different kinds of travel I do, like you said, and so that affects that as well. We had an episode last year where I talked about all the gear I took with me to Italy for our pilgrimage, and the different tech that was necessary for that. So I'll try not to repeat all of that, but there's some of that might come up again. So let's get into what we use to carry our stuff around in. Joanne, what are you using for tech bags these days?
Something that is definitely not made anymore. It's the Vera Bradley. When they first came out, these are lovely quilted bags, and they all had computer pouches in them. So there was a computer pouch, and then they would have maybe 3 to 6 more individual little pouches inside, and then maybe 4 on the outside. For me, it was great because I could stick things in different places. They'd be safe, protected, and stylish at the same time, because I carried around a lot of Land's End, the real canvassy ones, and when I started out, and they were great, but they wore out, and the Vera Bradleys were a lot better. So it depends. My normal carry during the week when I'm just going back and forth to work are the real soft-sided ones, but I have one rolling one that if I have to put a lot of tech in it, and take it with me someplace, then that's the one because I can roll it around. I'm just too old to be lifting too many things, so I'll take the rolling bag any day.
Okay.
They just don't make them anymore. They have defaulted to backpacks. That's all they make now. But I guess the younger generation, that's what they're using. And I used a backpack probably till I was about 45, but then my shoulders started to hurt. So that was about the end of that.
Yeah. When I was doing a daily commute 10 plus years ago, I switched to a rolling bag too, because it just there was too much stuff and the back would hurt. So, okay. So you have the Vera Bradley bag. Did you say you had something else too?
One of if I'm just carrying a laptop, I did get a TomTalk laptop sleeve for the 14-inch. I really like it. I did one of those searches. What are your top sleeves? And this one came up. It is so nice and quilted on the inside. And I have taken the case, the hard case that I used to have on the laptop off now because I broke 3 of them in 2 years. They just would split on the ends. So I now put it in this, and I can either carry it solo or put it in one of the other bags, and it's not so bad. So
okay.
I'm really pleased with it. It's moderately priced, but it's really nice. Doesn't scratch anything up.
Right. Yeah. They look like they protect the gear, and but they also look good. The TomTalk has some good looking stuff,
but they also have like a lip.
Yep.
So it's not like you're just putting it in a sleeve. There's a lip that surrounds it, and that's what I really like.
Very protective.
Mm-hmm.
Father, what do you use for a bag?
So it actually sparked my memory. I use the exact same TomTalk for my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I really liked about it is how, inside of the sleeve, it's very, very soft. So it is. And then the outside is durable, and it's. So I hadn't even quite remembered that was what I used too until I looked up, Joanne, what you're using. But that is like the exact same thing that I use. So I've used that ever since I've had a MacBook. So I've had that for years. And I currently use a Timbuktu messenger bag. So I know when I was in college, I had a backpack. And then seminary happened. Then I got ordained. And I know that when I went back to college, I wanted to be cool and hip. So I thought a messenger bag was maybe the way to be cool and hip. And I found that I love it. So a backpack, my back got all sweaty when you're, going to and from class. But a messenger bag is one of those that you carry. It slings around one of your shoulders, and then it kind of hangs on your hip. Mm-hmm. And so I've gotten I don't think my particular bag they sell anymore, but Timbuktu is a company that makes these lifetime durable, they call it urban inspired messenger bags, and they make all sorts of other bags too. But I've always really liked the Timbuktu durability and the look. And so that's what I used at Catholic University. and because it works for your laptop, but it's meant to be a messenger bag, so it's versatile. I had my papers in it, I had books in it, and that's still what I use today. And that's my go-to bag for carry-on when I'm doing any sort of personal travel, so I can throw my laptop in it and everything else that I have that I need. And so I've really like my messenger bag.
I'll put a link in the show notes to what Timbuktu currently has for a messenger bag. I think that's like the one you have, so I'll put that in the show notes. Good. So I basically have two different bags that I use, and it sort of depends on how much I need to bring with me. If I'm going with the iPad in the keyboard case, I'm sticking with the TomTalk, which is different from TomTom. So not to be confused. The TomTalk, it's a sling bag, so it's sort of like the messenger bag, but it slings over the shoulder. It's nicely padded. It looks really sleek. It has a nice sleeve that just fits the 13-inch iPad with the Magic Keyboard case. Like, it just slides right in. It's even got a little place to put the Apple Pencil. It's got several pockets. They're not too ostentatious, and it's nice and padded. So I feel everything's safe in there. The sling, the loop that goes over your shoulder, the strap is nice and padded. It's comfortable. I always see people put like water bottles in their bags, and I think that's the craziest thing ever.
No.
I would never in a million years. But it even has a nice little pocket on the inside, a zipper pocket, so you can put, a wallet or, something important in there, so it's up against your body. And you can even swap the sling where it attaches on the bottom from one side to the other, depending on how you want to wear it. And one of the things I often did was I would swing it. The way it works is I would swing it around in front of me, and it would be horizontal, and I could get things in and out of it without having to take it off. I just, when I was in Rome, and I use this bag as my day-to-day bag, and I just didn't like taking it off and putting it down places, when we're out and about. So I would just swing it around and pull things out and put things in that way. So it's a nice bag, very, very versatile, or useful in that sense. When I need to carry more stuff, I have an old, literal computer bag from, I forget which company it is, but it's a good computer bag. But I've been leaning more and more towards something a little more utilitarian. And this is a backpack that I actually use for several different things. I use it for weekend camping at times, but at other times I'll use it as a computer bag. And this is it's a backpack from 511 Tactical. So 511 Tactical sells a lot of utilitarian, a lot of military style or law enforcement style gear. It's not like Army surplus, but this backpack is very much in the style of that. So it's the Rush 24 2.0 backpack, and I have the 37-liter version. I have it in black, and it has all of the Velcro and what they call MOLLE straps on the outside, so you can attach lots of different things to it, and MOLLE is a standard attachment format, and so I have like a water bottle holder on the outside of mine, and I have a little name tape with my name on it on the outside, just so I always know it's mine. But this has a laptop sleeve in it. But it's also got a nice big compartment. It's got outer pockets, and it's even got a kind of a hidden Velcroed pocket right in the middle on the outside. So it's like an extra little hidden space in there. So it's not super huge, which I like. I didn't want a giant bulky backpack, and in fact you can kind of strap it down a little in it when you get stuff in it, so it doesn't move around. But I really like it. It's even got like a sunglasses or eyeglass compartment at the top. So it's a really nice, versatile backpack you can use for a lot of different things, not just computer stuff. So I really like this one. So moving on from the bags that we use, what kind of gear are we carrying in our bags? We've kind of talked a little bit about it, but Father Andrew, what kind of gear do you tend to put in your bags as in computer device gear?
Yep. So this would be when I'm traveling, either really for personal, so vacations and whatnot. I do have a MacBook Pro 14-inch, so that's what I used for school. but that's also my personal device. So I throw that in there. And I usually always will throw in my Amazon Kindle Paperwhite. And depending on how I'm feeling, I have an iPad Pro, but that one tends to get used less often. So the MacBook Pro and the Kindle are my primary two devices.
Okay. Joanne, what kind of gear are you carrying around?
I'm usually carrying around my iPad Pro because I need that more than anything else. However, when I'm doing Bible studies, then I need the computer. So I still have a MacBook Pro, even though I got myself the lovely and talented Mac Mini this year. And I'm looking at my MacBook Pro, and this thing, I still have the M1. I bought the original bargain basement silicon first edition.
Yep.
That thing is still chugging like a champ. And I can't find fault with it. I keep saying maybe I should get an Air until I'm retired. It's like, no, but then I ended up getting a Magic Keyboard for the iPad, hoping that I can transition over. And I'm being real stubborn because they're just, I love everything I can do on the iPad Pro. It's great, but it still isn't a computer.
Mm-hmm.
There's still things
it's not a Mac. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just not a Mac or I'm still doing too much video. But it's different when you're using like right now I'm using the Creative Suite and from the Final Cut.
Apple Creative Suite.
Yeah, I'm using Creative, and I'm using Final Cut on the computer, which I'm starting to really love, but I never liked it so much on the iPad.
Right.
So it's like, but normally I will carry the iPad mostly, but if I have to do something else, it's the computer and the iPad because I need both things because my iPad is also my music collection. So if I'm practicing for Holy Week, then I need to carry it with me.
Right. So for me, it's either going to be I have a 13-inch M4 MacBook Air or the 13-inch iPad Air with Magic Keyboard. I usually carry one or the other, and it sort of depends on what I need it for. If I feel like I'm going to need if I'm going to have to edit any audio, like you, Joanne, like I know that there are podcasters who edit podcasts on their iPads with a pencil. That's not
God bless them.
That just seems like a lot of extra work to make a point or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll just bring the laptop. I'm too old school. I need the old computer with the mouse and the windows and the whole thing. I'm too old to change to become a iPad OS primary guy. But that said, I do like the portability of the iPad, and there are times when I'll just bring that, like I'm going to a scout meeting and I might need to, pull up an Excel spreadsheet. I can do that on the iPad and I can enter stuff. It's not as easy. It's certainly, Microsoft, you could make it easier, but it's possible to do. So, it kind of goes between those two things. When I'm traveling, I always have my Kindle with me to do that, to read. I always prefer reading on a Kindle over any of the Apple devices because of the distraction factor. That's all it is, really. That and the battery life. The battery life on the Kindle is amazing. All right, so let's move on to what's in the bags. This is the heart of what we're talking about here. Father, what do you carry in your bags with your gear when you're out and about?
So I tend to be pretty minimalistic when it comes to this kind of thing. My go-tos is my chargers. I have to have an iPhone charger, USB-C, of course, because I have a newer phone, and I have to have the charger for the MacBook Pro, and I have to have my charger for my Apple Watch. Like, those things are essential, period. Everything else can come or go. It doesn't matter. If I'm traveling specifically via airplane, my Powerbeats Pro are essential because that's what I use on the airplane. But if I'm just like driving somewhere, I use the CarPlay in the car, so I don't use my Powerbeats. But yeah, longer vacations, flight, that sort of thing, I do that. And then I threw in a few extras that I have. I wouldn't say kind of standard, but there are things that are in my bag right now that I've had, but they don't get used very much. I have a USB connected DVD drive. And so for like my being able to pull up a DVD on my MacBook Pro. Same thing. I have a USB floppy disk drive, and that might be a little odd.
Wow.
But I am very much the millennial that I grew up with all the old floppy disk drive games, and I still have some, and I've got DOSBox running on my computer, and so I don't really need it, but I've used it to pull files off and put them on my DOSBox and put them on my computer. So again, that one is used incredibly rarely, but I have used it. And then the other one that's in my bag is a USB hub. And again, that's sort of less prevalent of use nowadays, but it would have been when there was only like 2 USB sockets and, you had 4 different devices that you wanted to connect to it. So, but I don't really go beyond that so much.
Do the kids ever see your floppy disks and go, why do you have 3D printed save icons?
They don't know what those old floppy disks are for. And I even, just to throw this out there, I know why they're called floppy disks. And it's not the floppy disk drive that I have. It's the older floppy disks that were genuinely floppy.
Yep. The 5 1/4.
5 1/4.
I've even seen the 8s.
Yep.
Those things
okay,
were massive.
that one's a bit before my time, but I remember I think it was one of the King's Quest games that friends had on the big floppy discs.
The 5 1/4. Yeah. I had one of those. Yeah. I can still hear the noise of that original Apple disk drive.
Yep.
Oh man, those are the days. Nostalgia for tech.
Yeah. I'm feeling old right now.
Friend of the show, Jeff Geerling, is he occasionally will be renovating some old Apple gear with his dad on his YouTube channel. They were bringing back to life. I think it was an Apple 2. It was either a 2GS or a 2E recently, and I'm like, wow, bad capacitors at all. Like, but they were bringing it back to life. Man, that was awesome.
I've still got my Windows 95 PC actually sitting right here on my desk, and it still works.
Oh wow!
So I mean, and that's coming up on 30 years old.
30 years old. It's not coming up on that. It's 30 years old.
I mean, granted, some of the files are corrupted, but it still boots up and it still plays some of the old games. So that's I mean,
awesome.
Before the scheduled
the death of 95.
Yeah. Or I was thinking now Apple
obsolescence.
Obsolescence. That's the word. Yeah.
Right.
The Windows 95 is going to outlive us all. So
it will. XP will be out there running everything.
Ooh.
Joanne, what do you got in your bag?
Oh yes, then I start doing the Mary Poppins thing, pulling all these things out when I need them. I carry one charger, which is my Hyperjuice. This is an older one. It's 100-watt GAN, and it's got 2 C's and 2 A's on it, which is really nice because the C's are 100 each. Mm-hmm. The A's are 18. So that tells me what they think you should be using as far as connections. I have an old Rode, and I found this today, an old Rode video mic that I used to use for my iPhones. But I need an adapter now because it's a Lightning and not a USB-C. So I have to go see if I can find myself an adapter. I used to put it on when it has to go back to COVID days when I was doing the first live streams. So in order to get sound, I needed something that would, better than the phone or better than the iPad. So it's great, worked wonderfully. I'm carrying 2 different USB hubs, one for the iPhone, one for the iPad, and one for the computer. So the Hyperdrive 9 and 2 means it has 2 USB-Cs and works off the power of that because it can run 2 monitors if I want to put it in there. So it has 2 HDMI, 3 USB-As, and Ethernet, and I think the Ethernet I think is the 100. And then the SD card, and I still use SD cards and micro SD depending on what I'm doing. And then the Hyperdrive 8-in-1 is for the iPad because that's the single. And I can run the iPad, a monitor off the iPad, which is really nice when I need to. I need these because when I go to different places, if something is down, if something is not working, I have to be able to connect. So that's why I'm also carrying 3 USB-C cables in different sizes. I carry an HDMI, depending on, I have a short one right now. I had a long one in, but I had to use it for one of the churches. So that went bye-bye, and I just grabbed a small one. I still have USB keys, the USB-A
thumb drives.
Yep. Because I'm the only Mac user.
Yep.
So the only way I'm taking things and putting it into other people's Windows computers is through the thumb drive. I have a small, I call it a utility charging cable, where I have a USB-A on one side, and then the other side has a Lightning, a USB-C, and a micro on the other side, because sometimes I need to charge things, and again, they're all different.
Yeah.
Because I'm working in a church. We don't
Right.
throw out anything.
Never. You might need that someday.
Exactly. I have a filing cabinet full of I might need that someday.
Yep. Or that was
I have a closet
donated,
of that.
so
Yes.
we can't ever get rid of it.
Exactly. That's the other thing. It was donated.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep.
And then, of course, the elder stateswoman that I am, I have to have my reading glasses because I can't see anything anymore. I carry my AirPods with me, again, except for the car because I have CarPlay.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's essential, a tea bag caddy, where I have 6 tea bags because no one uses regular decaf tea at any function.
Right.
So I bring my own now.
That's a good idea. Actually, I should get one of those for my wife because she's the same. She's a tea person, and she's not drinking caffeinated tea at 8:00 at night.
If we're serving decaf coffee, so everybody can go to bed, then we should have decaf tea.
Exactly. So I'll talk about what's in my bags. Again, it depends on what I'm carrying around. And this, will vary depending on how much travel I'm doing, how far I'm going, how what I expect to be doing at the other end of the trip. But when I have my MacBook, I have the 35-watt dual USB-C charger, so it's got 2 USB-C ports on it that goes along with the MagSafe cable that came with my MacBook. Apple, thank you for bringing back MagSafe. That was a rough few years where we had to give up a USB-C port to charge things and worry about the kids tripping over the cable and breaking the end of the USB-C cable inside my MacBook. Who am I kidding? I probably would have done it too. But now we have MagSafe again, and for that I am grateful. So I have that. I don't use it very a lot because I have other things that I charge with, which I'll get to in a second. But also the battery life is just so good these days that I find I don't have to drag it out very often. So what I used to charge with is something I've talked about many times, and they've got newer versions of this, but the Anker laptop power bank, they call it. It's 25,000 watts of power, amps, 25,000 milliamps, which is 25,000. It's, it's measured in thousands, milliamp hours. It just showed up on my screen, 25,000 milliamp hours. And this is about as large as you can take on a plane. Yeah, so that's one of the factors of it. It has 2 built-in cables, USB-C cables. One is retractable, like it's spring-loaded, and one is cleverly built into the lanyard, so that so you can charge. And then it also has several USB ports, a USB-C and a USB-A ports, and it's up to 100 watts of simultaneous charging, which is really nice when you have a phone and a laptop and an iPad and that sort of stuff. So it's really nice. It'll keep your computer charged over the Atlantic Ocean. I'll tell you that by firsthand knowledge. So that's its downside is it's a bit heavy. So I don't want to take it everywhere I go. But it is a bit weighty. So it doesn't come out all the time. I have a zip bag of cables. So it zips and folds open, and it's got loops inside and little pockets. It is neon green inside, so that you can see things. It is not white. It is not black. It is neon green, so that there is a contrast of color against the usual color of cables. That's important. There's a slot for everything. I've decided everything's going to have a particular slot, and I use my label maker that I got for Christmas and I made labels to go where each cable goes. So I always know where things goes. And so what I have in there, I have a USB to USB-C to USB-C cable, which is a 240 watt charging cable. So that can, run a lot of power through it. I also keep a USB-C to USB-A cable in there because you never know. I keep an Apple Watch charging cable in there. I keep an HDMI cable in there. Here's a tip: 1 foot grounded extension cord. So it's 1 foot long, and it's just like a regular extension cord, but it's only 1 foot long. In fact, I use all over my house because you ever have like when you want to plug a whole bunch of stuff into one extension, one surge protector, but they come with these giant, power bricks that take up more than one space. Well, this lets you plug them in, all together. So that it's really great. That's useful for that too. But I always keep one in my bag. A Thunderbolt cable, like you said, Joanne, USB micro, USB mini. And then I have a little bag of USB-C to USB-A adapters that like go on the end of a cable to adapt, with different cables. And I feel like that generally covers me. I used to carry everything. I was a pack rat with bringing stuff, but the bag got so heavy that I recently did a clean out, and I really pared it down and probably could pare it down even more. But I feel like this kind of covers me for 90% of the situations I find myself in. So I always carry a portable power strip. So it kind of folds up. It's a travel power strip. It has 3 power ports and then 3 USB-A ports. It's kind of old. I'm thinking maybe I should be looking to get a new one that has USB-C ports. So I may be replacing that. But a portable power strip is nice. You go, like if you go to the airport, and you find the one remaining open power plug, you can get 3 things that are whose batteries are dying. Well, you can plug this in, or you can make friends and let other people plug in. So something to think about. So as far as charging though, when I'm traveling, I always bring the Lyzen 3-in-1 charging station, and it folds up nice and compact. But when it unfolds, you can charge your it's got a MagSafe for your phone. It's got a little pad that you can put your AirPods on. And then it's even got the Apple Watch charging puck thing that flips up that you can put your watch on, and you can charge it all 3 of them off of one USB-C cable, on your bedside table at the hotel or Airbnb or wherever. So that's very nice. And then one thing I do, because I always have way too many devices, is I like to bring a travel router with me. I've talked about this before, I think. It's the GL iNet MT3000. They have various travel routers. What's really nice about this is it's got Ethernet ports on it. It's got USB ports on it. What you do is you get to your hotel, your Airbnb, you play if they've got an Ethernet port there. A lot of hotels don't anymore, which is kind of frustrating. You can plug the Ethernet in, but even if they don't, you can connect to it via Wi-Fi. And you ever get on a public Wi-Fi, you get that captive page that you got to keep filling out every time you connect. Well, you do that once via the interface of this, which is it's got a web page interface to set it up. And then you just connect your devices to this. And in fact, you've already pre-connected your devices to this before, so you don't have to reconnect. Your family can connect to it, everything like that. So you don't have to be setting up your kids and your spouse and your whatnot. You were all connected already to this device, and you just need to connect this device to where the Wi-Fi or the Ethernet, wherever you're going. It's got other features, like it has Tailscale, like a VPN that you can connect through and other things like that. So it's got a lot of really nice features, some of it a little more advanced than others, but it all comes in this one little package, and it's really handy. So I also like to bring the Anchor laptop docking station, which is similar to one you were talking about, Joanne. It basically gives you a bunch more ports for connecting things. It's got a couple of HDMI ports. You've got some all the various USB. It's Ethernet. You can plug in your SD cards, that sort of stuff. So it gives you some more connection options that you might not have had before. And then 2 non-techie things I always have in my bag. I always have a folding travel umbrella because you never know. And I always keep a gallon-sized plastic bag because you just never know when you're going to need a bag to carry things, or if you get something that's wet or something you don't want to get wet. It's just, I've become one of those guys who like has the life hack thing, you know, and I'm like, there's always a useful plastic bag. I know I'm turning into an old man, but there's always a useful plastic bag, you know.
No, you're not wrong, because I find myself needing something like that, but that's because I go to too many parish functions that have lots of desserts left over. So that's not a bad idea.
Exactly. You know, I mean, with scouting, right? You know, like I didn't mention here, but like I'll often keep a pair of socks in a bag, because you know you're hiking around in the woods, whatever, you get your socks wet, so you take off the wet socks, you put them in the plastic bag, and then you put your dry socks on, and then you get dried feet, which is great. You know what I mean? It's like it's a scout be prepared thing. So anyway, I'll wrap it up there, because I don't want to get into all the scouting nonsense that I carry. So that's what we're carrying in our bags these days. I'd love to know what people are carrying with them. I mean, I know there are plenty of people who are very minimalist. They, like you said, Father, a phone does it. If I got a phone, I got some headphones, like AirPods or something, or Bluetooth headphones, and I'm set. And other people, they gotta carry everything with them wherever they go. So I'm curious what people have. So, before we move on, I do want to stop here and take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the secrets of technology, including Julia W., Karen M., Isaac K., Bennett G., and Tara H. Their generous donations at GiveStarQuest.com make it possible for us to continue the secrets of technology. Sorry, I forgot what show I'm on. And all the shows at StarQuest. You can join them by visiting GiveStarQuest.com. All right, it's late on a Wednesday. All right, before we move on to our picks of the week, I do want to stop because this headline is right up our alley. The Vatican Synod Study Group warns of online polarization. It's the headline, but it's this working group that came out of the Synod and Synodality. That their job was to study mission in the digital environment. And they've come up with a recommendation document. And I think it's very interesting, especially given that what we've heard and we've mentioned many times is that the expectations that Pope Leo's first encyclical will be probably on AI, but something tech related. So this may be an interesting preview of what we might see. And among other things that they've recommended was the formation of a pontifical commission for digital culture and new technologies. I think that's a great idea. I put my hand up. I'm willing to serve if asked. So they had some other suggestions, which would be things like we need to study ecclesial jurisdictions in an age where people can connect across the internet versus in person like we've always had. What do you think of some of the stuff that was in this article?
I think I was reading that as a canon lawyer, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, let's not do something like super territorial digital kind of
oh geez,
realities they call it.
Well, I mean I get what they're talking about, and I think that there's a very real sense of like you might connect more to a parish that's halfway across the world. You can stream their masses. You know, you can even, you might have Zoom Bible studies and all that stuff. And that's great. That's a wonderful way to be able to share. But in terms of like jurisdiction and canon law, that's a nightmare, because you like if you're living in Lovell, Wyoming, who is your local ordinary? In other words, who's your bishop? Like, are you part of this like digital? Well, I'm attending virtual Bible studies in New York, so I need to that just sounds like a nightmare in terms of jurisdiction. So that kind of always, I'm not sure where that will go at all, if anywhere. And I think too, you have to be careful if the internet and all of this stuff is really good at connecting us and being able to share in that sort of life. But I also I want to make a plug for the local parish, that your local parish is your home. and your local parish will suffer if you are not present in your parish. So there is real goodness in being connected, even if you're doing Bible study with people across the world. Okay, that's all good, but being connected to your local parish, your local diocese, your local bishop, in terms of canon law is appropriate, but also I think just in terms of good pastoral growth and connection.
Joanne, what do you think of the?
I use technology and always have through everything I've done to try to connect, either with popular culture in one respect or with people in another. And yes, I have those Zoom Bible studies, but I want them for my parishioners. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I also have an in-house Bible study where I do have people from other parishes because their parishes aren't doing it. And I'm sorry, they're not. But I can understand where that can get all mixed up if you're going across the world. The thing is that technology can enhance what we do in the parish tenfold if we use it with that in mind. We're not trying to steal other people. We're not trying to get a different perspective from across the world. We're just trying to help our parishioners. Recently my diocese discontinued their television mass because, quite frankly, it was costing them way too much money on the regular airwave for a half an hour where they had to pretty much do, liturgical speed reading in order to get through the half an hour before they got cut off. That has made it possible now for us to do more live streaming and be sanctioned by our diocese. So now they're even promoting the ones who are. And that's good, but it should be for your parishioners. The ones who can't. Right. Exactly. The ones who can't get there, the ones who couldn't get there 3 weeks ago in a blizzard, here's Mass, you can attend here, but as a liturgist, I always say it doesn't mean anything unless you're in the room where it happens.
Yeah.
You can't do the sacraments online.
No, you can't. Yeah, and God forbid we ever do confession that way.
Yeah. No, but it's invalid.
Right, exactly.
It's not even just a bad idea. It's invalid.
Right. Let's pull out the canon law books. But that's the thing. What I applaud them wanting to do some sort of guidelining and study. I get nervous at regulation or, are we all going to need imprimatas at some point to be online?
I think the important thing to get out of this document is it's all we need to be talking about this. And I think it's not prescriptive. And I think that's what's good. I think it's important that we do have the conversation in the church about these things. And we express the importance and the realities of it. There is a reality that there are people who feel more connected to people far away than they are to people nearby, and for whatever reason that is. And sometimes it's I only have one parish nearby, and it is what goes on there doesn't feed me for whatever reason. Or it's not for me. I know Father Roderick Van Hogen, who our founder at SQPN, who's over in the Netherlands, talks about he has a worldwide parish. He has people from all over the world who tune into him for whatever things he does. So there is a reality of a connection, but what should we be looking for in that? One of the things that they say in this document is that they urge that we need to integrate the digital mission into the church's ordinary structures rather than treating it as a marginal or parallel activity. I think that I used to work in an archdiocese, and I worked in the communication or media evangelization department, and we were the adjunct. We were kind of on the side trying to do the thing. We need to be, and we did it better than many, I think, at the time. But we need to stop thinking of the online world or new media, whatever it is, as somehow this separate thing. It is part of it is the way we live today. People live their lives online as much as offline in the world. That's just the reality of it, and the younger folks even more so. So we need to stop thinking of it as this adjunct or separate thing. We need to start focusing on it as a primary means of connecting with people. Apart from the in-person incarnational in the pews, the other way we do this is this way. It is normal. It is not optional or secondary.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that the article pointed out was they pointed out the desire that there should be different formation for different. Depending on kind of where you're at in the church, but the idea that the people need to be formed, whether you're a pastor, whether you're a catechist, whether you're a layperson, and I really resonate with that idea, because rather than just sort of imposing a bunch of regulations and rules, the church has been always about, like, let's form the human person to be able to engage with this prudently, appropriately, with knowledge and understanding, and not be hoodwinked by what's out there. And that can only come through formation of the human person. Sure, regulation can help kind of curb it, but at the end of the day, you've still got to be able to discern the good and the bad yourself. And so I really appreciated that kind of push, because even in my thesis for canon law, I talked about digital media, censoring digital media as opposed to their physical counterparts. And part of my whole research and everything kind of I proposed a similar sort of thing, like within the world of digital media, where you could have anybody can be saying anything, especially in the world of AI. Part of the challenge is having a known sort of source of like church documents, so you're reading something that's true and that's from the church, and it's a known sort of source. But the other aspect of this is just the formation of the person to be able to engage with whatever it is, whether it has an imprimatur or not, right, in the digital sphere. It requires formation on a personal level. Whether you're a catechist or layperson or pastor, whoever. So I think that push is a very good push to have.
Yes, discernment.
Well, I don't know if I said this. Dom and I had just done, was it 2 weeks ago, we did the live streaming episode.
Live streaming mass, yep.
Yeah. And one of the things that I wanted to propose in my own diocese was to have some sort of workshops on how to teach people how to do the live streaming. Not so, not just the technical part, but the liturgical part. What should you be looking for and at and when? And I think that a lot, and try to get away from the one static camera, but if that's the best you got, that's the best you got. Make it work. But I think we need to have that awareness of what are we providing for folks when we do this. We should be showing them the mass as best as we can when we do a live stream. Or when I do workshops, I've been filming them now or live streaming them and then leaving them up on the YouTube page. Putting stuff out there is great evangelization. I'm getting more folks connecting with that and then asking me, so how do I become Catholic? So I'm seeing that like fourfold now, where, my OCIA is growing. So these digital things should be helping us bring people into the parish and into a community, and not creating its own community.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I worked in a parish collaborative a few years ago. My job was director of communications, but I always felt like that was mistitled, because I should have been director of evangelization, because communication is evangelization and evangelization is communication. And it's the same thing. The bulletin should be evangelizing. The web page, the website should be evangelizing. These are tools for communicating the gospel. They're not separate. They're not like a hobby. These are primary means that we use in addition to, face to face. This is how we're going to connect with people. So I am in agreement. So I hope that this results in more talk. I know sometimes the synods and the synod on synods and the synod on synods kind of gets a bit of a bad rap in the church or whatever. But, some people think it's more sitting around talking about things. But I do think we need to do a better job of figuring out how we're supposed to be doing this. It's 2026, people. It's long past time. The church should be doing a better job at this. This stuff has been around for 3 decades now. We need to be doing better than we are. And this looks like a move in the right direction if we take it the right way. All right, let's move on to our picks of the week. Joanne, why don't you go first? What's your pick this week?
Well, this is a free pick, folks, but only if you're into genealogy and like that type of thing. I know I've talked about some of the genealogical sites that you can use in your research. And the one site that has you're able to access for free and get a lot of stuff out of it is Family Search. And what I should have done 2 weeks ago was pick this pick, because every year they have something called Roots Tech. And Roots Tech was something that used to be just in Salt Lake City. Everybody traveled. There was your basic convention for genealogical nerds. But from that, they've always had a library of recordings of their presentations that they had made available. When COVID hit, they had to go online for 2 years. So now Roots Tech is partially online and still partially in Salt Lake City. And the vast library of, if you want to get into genealogy, if you want to brush up on your genealogy, this is the place to go get all those videos. You can do them at your own pace. But what you first need is to sign up for Family Search. It's a free website. And again, it's a good one. They're the basic feeder to Ancestry.
Right.
So if you want to pay more money and get more documents, yeah, you go to Ancestry. If you're just starting out and want some real obscure things as well as mainstream, then Family Search is the place to go. It is run by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so you're going to see Moroni in all his glory on the site, but that's okay. But it's free, and then go look for Roots Tech.
Right.
And then once you can get in there, you can start looking through the library. And then every year they have this free 3-day. And I mean, they have heavy hitters come on this. Marley Matlin was on this year.
Yeah.
Emmett Smith's been on in the past. Of course, Donny Osmond had to be. Sean Astin. So they bring people in for talks, and then they do some of their genealogy for them. LeVar Burton was on. You know, so it's if you're a genealogy person and you want to learn more, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, then this may be your way to do it.
Yeah. Genealogy is a big part of Mormonism. So that's why you see that they're one of the big, whenever you get into genealogy in this country, you're going to scratch the surface, you're going to find Mormonism, but it's fine. It's not theological.
They started with it, but I think genealogy is for anybody because look, open the Bible. What's after the creation? What do you get? Genealogy.
Genealogy, right. You open up Matthew, where you get the
New Testament. Genealogy. Why? Because everybody wants important to know where they've come from.
Right.
And also in Jesus' case, it solidified his, who he was. Mm-hmm. So we all can benefit from that in our lives and on our journeys. Yes.
I love doing genealogy. And I mean, when I found out that my grandfather came from this little village in Ukraine, just 90 miles west of Kiev, we just found this out a couple of years ago. It's like, wow, I felt this connection to the people that are suffering there, and I felt this connection to what my grandfather went through as a Jewish man escaping from that area, from persecution, and it's just like it really. The stories, but it connects you in ways that are unexpected. And so, I think genealogy is a great hobby to do, even just a little bit.
And you're always going to find a sketchy character or two in your background. So,
yes. Actually, one of the things I loved finding out was how many of my ancestors on both sides, my mom and dad's side, were sailors. The ships, I have the stories of sea captains and all kinds of stuff. So it's in my blood, but I love the fact that I have some ancestors on my mom's side. When you go back, it was 4 brothers who all owned a ship, co-owned out of Nova Scotia. They co-owned a ship called the Enterprise.
Oh,
fate! I tell you,
exactly.
Oh, excellent! Thank you, Joanne. That's I'm going to spend some time going through that. Father, what's your pick this week?
My pick is something fairly low tech, but it's a tripod for your cell phone and camera. And I picked this because this last week I had Psych of Catholic Answers at my parish, and so for two things, I wanted to record the talks that he gave, and I didn't want to just hold my phone and record it. So I needed a tripod, but then also this particular one. And what's really nice about it is it folds up. It's really small, and it's 64 inches, so just over 5 feet. But then also it has the little Bluetooth connecting button, so you can take photos, and it'll take the photo for you. And that was really cool because I was able to get a group picture with Cy, and I didn't have to have my bookkeeper, who didn't want to be in the photo, take the picture, who voluntarily wanted to take the picture, but I had to get her in the picture with us, and I could just in my pocket push the button and take the photo, and it worked out really well. So $20, and yeah, low tech, but worked really well. So
I could have used 3 of these last year on my pilgrimage to Italy, trying to
get the group
Mysterious
photos.
World.
Yeah.
It was we accomplished it, but it wasn't ideal. I'm good for our next trip. I'm definitely getting a couple of these.
Well, it's always like who's going to be the one that gets to miss being in the group photo, because you got to have or do you get a random stranger to take a photo?
Yeah.
And wow.
Here, take our photo. Hey, where's he going?
Yeah.
Come back with my phone. Excellent. Those are good ones. I literally just put that on my wish list because I did get a couple of those.
I put it in my cart.
Very good. And not expensive, like $20. So, that's good. All right. So I'm going to make a pick, and it's some software. It's Mac software. So we're all 3 of us are Mac people. So Windows users, Linux users, you'll have to suffer this week. This is a really helpful little bit of software called KeyQ. One of the problems with so much software is they always have like, keyboard shortcuts, the Control C, Control A, Command C, all that stuff. But you can't remember all of them. At least I can't. And so what KeyQ does is it sets up so that if you hold down, there are different shortcuts you can use to do this. But like you could set it up so that if you hold down the Command key for a little bit, or your Option key, or you double click your Shift key or something, it will pop up a window overlay with all of the keyboard shortcuts for the app that's active right now. So if you're in the Finder, if you're in Safari, you're in whatever app you're in, it will give you all of the keyboard shortcuts right there on screen, and you can select from among them. So like, I want to find that one command, or even if you just want you're looking for a particular command in the sea of menus, all the commands will be right there on screen for you in one place. So it's really handy. There's even a feature where you can have it pop up all the emojis on screen, like just all of them right there in front of you. That's a little overwhelming. Sometimes it's very colorful. But I sometimes activate it by accident because I like rest my hand on the keyboard, which I shouldn't do. And so it's like, oh, it just pops up in front of me. But it is really nice. And it is, let's see, I didn't look at the price ahead of time. So you can get it for $40 one time forever for the current version, major version. There is a subscription as well for $20. And I don't think it's in setup. Let me just double check. Now you have to open up setup because I don't think I've had this for so long. I don't remember where I got it from. Oh yeah, it's in setup. So drink. It's a setup app. So you could just get set up and don't have to pay anything extra. So definitely check that out. Speaking of setup, they have a new, subscription model. You can actually subscribe to like one app or a couple apps, so you don't have to like pay the whole thing to get everything if there's like one thing you want. So they have some new options there. So if you haven't looked at that app recently, I'm going to check out. And I still haven't gotten a check from them yet. So you can tell I'm not doing it for the money. Yeah, I just really believe in what they're doing. All right, those are my picks. That's my pick. I guess that app is a perennial pick. Now we're going to wrap things up, and we'd love to get your feedback on anything we've talked about this time. Let us know what's in your bag. Send us a photo or something. I'm very curious what people are carrying around in their bags. Anything unusual in yours. Let us know by sending us an email to technology@sqpn.com or visit the StarQuest Discord community at sqpn.com/discord. You'll find links from our discussion and our picks of the week on our show notes at starquest.fm/TEC337. And you'll find previous episodes at sqpn.com/technology. You be sure to follow The Secrets of Tech in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, your favorite podcast app, or at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/StarQuestMedia, where you should like, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notifications. And one last thing, be sure to write a review in Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star in a podcast directory, or any other way that you can share the show with somebody, help us promote it, get more listeners to this great content that we're trying to give to you. Until next time, Joanne Mercier, thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of technology.
Thanks, Dom.
And Father Andrew Kinstetter, thank you as well.
Absolutely.
And once again, I'm Dom Bettinelli. Thank you for listening to the Secrets of Technology on StarQuest. Here's another show on the StarQuest Network you're sure to enjoy. The Secrets of Sacred Art. Find it wherever fine podcasts are found or at starquest.fm/art.